Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. My name is Matt Entrican, and with me is my partner, Sean Sullivan. Sean, what's going on, my man?
We're back. Sports are back, and I've been pied.
You have been pied.
I've been pied.
And, folks, that's where we're going to go next. The pie bet, of course, was filmed recently, and we've got a shot of it for you right now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the filming of our pie battle. Recently, Sean and I bet on who would win this most recent 2022 World Series. And, of course, that was between the Astros and the Atlanta Braves. Sean bet on the Astros, I bet on the Braves, and the stakes were a pie to the face. Sean, how you feeling? Are you ready for this pie?
I mean, no one's ever ready to get coconut creamed in the face. But, you know, it's just another valuable lesson as to why I do not bet. I'm not Team DraftKings. I'm not Team any of that stuff. I don't really bet, and this is why, because I typically do not win. Although it does seem in like the predictions, like for our games on Crossing the Line, I have been pretty spot on with most of my predictions. But whenever it comes to bet, whenever there seems to be some sort of ramifications for my actions, I seem to be on the losing end, as we see today.
Well, Sean, the fans of Crossing the Line, thank you for your sacrifice. But I think it will be a glorious sacrifice.
For
a
you.
Beautiful one. Yeah, for me.
You.
It's also worth mentioning this pie bet brought to you by Village Inn Pie. So hit up Village Inn for all your pie and breakfast needs.
No free ads.
Well, they gave us this pie for free. So
Oh, did they?
They did, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, thank you, Village Inn, for my suffering.
All right. Should we get this over with, Sean?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Okay, let me switch to my lefty. Left arm. All right.
That is a thick pie.
It'll taste so good, though.
I don't like it.
All right, here we go.
Ugh. That's pretty cold too. It's not a warm pie.
You look great, Sean. You never look better.
Thanks. Oh, that's so thick.
Well, Sean, how did that feel?
Yeah, I definitely got coconut creamed right to the dome. It was one of those things we kind of talked about a little bit of like you think you know what everything's gonna feel like before it happens, and I've never been pied in the face. That was very unexpected to say the least.
Yeah, the first time you remember forever. My pie bet record, I think I'm like 2-2. So I've had my fair share of pies to the face, so I can empathize with you a little bit.
Learned a valuable lesson on not betting on the Houston Astros.
Yeah,
First and last time.
good learning experience.
Good learning
at the very
experience.
least. Way to see the silver lining.
Very
All right,
so.
Let's move on to sports, guys. All right, first topic of the day, we're going to talk some Cleveland Browns. The Browns suffered another embarrassing loss at the hands of the Patriots this past Sunday. And there's been a lot of questions, a lot of critique on our man Baker Mayfield. So we asked the question, can Baker Mayfield still lead the Browns to the playoffs? Sean, what's your take?
I think definitely. I think the Browns and Baker Mayfield can get into the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs again this year. I'll even take it a step further and say I think Baker Mayfield can lead the Browns to the Super Bowl, maybe win. I think the Browns really need to tread lightly with this Baker Mayfield situation. I'm not saying, give him the house money-wise because they have a really good, complete team right now. So giving him a bunch of money just wouldn't be a smart football move. And looking at these other teams that are also 5-5 right now, or 4-5 right now in the NFL, you have the Colts, the Broncos, the Vikings, the 49ers, and the Panthers. I think we can all safely say Baker Mayfield is far better than Carson Wentz, Teddy Two Gloves, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, or now Cam Newton with the Panthers. So I think the Browns really need to tread lightly. I don't think they should get overly greedy, because especially you look at the draft this year, there is no real good prospect coming out of the draft, and even that, they'll be up in the higher picks that the Browns won't get. So I think right now the Browns just stay complacent, be happy with Baker Mayfield, let him get healthy, and let him do his thing. You can win a lot of football games with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, really, Sean. The Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield are like UFOs and aliens. I want to believe in them, you know? And I've been rooting for Baker and the Browns this whole year, and I really thought they have a good team, and they do. They've got a lot of great players. They got a lot of depth. But the Browns have the fourth toughest strength of schedule remaining this year. And in addition to all those teams you mentioned, you still got the Chargers, you got the Patriots, and you got the Bengals. Justin Herbert, probably better than Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow, probably soon to be better than Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield has a lot of talent, and he's very Ryan Tannehill-esque, can be very, and by that I mean that he's average. He's average. Okay, he's not going to be Tom Brady, but he's not going to be Marcus Mariota, you know. So right now, I think there's too much competition right now in the AFC for Baker to ascend his team above everyone else.
Well, let's play this game then. Let's say they do decide to part ways with Baker Mayfield. They let him go to free agency or they trade him somewhere. Then do you roll with Case Keenum? Like, no, that's not a viable option. That was the experiment the Broncos tried, and it failed miserably. I mean, I don't think they could be able to land a person like Aaron Rodgers for the price range, and then also I think Rodgers might stay with the Packers at this point. So who is a better option for the Browns right now than Baker Mayfield? Who is better than Ryan Tannehill?
That's not what I'm saying, Sean. That's not what I'm saying. You stick with Baker, but I don't think that right now Baker is going to be able to get the Browns to that championship level that they need him to get to. Especially with the torn labrum and all the injury issues he's having, a lot of the off-the-field drama that the Browns have been having. I know Odell Beckham's gone, but Baker is sort of a hothead. He's a very feisty person. You never know what kind of drama is going to get stirred up with Baker at the helm. I don't think he's the best leader. He's got a lot of passion. He's got a lot of energy. I don't know if he's got sort of the mental stability like a Tom Brady or Drew Brees that you want from a leader.
Mental fortitude of Baker Mayfield. I think he's a good leader. I think he can get it done. You seem to be very high on Ryan Tannehill, which we can talk about a little bit later. That's a very interesting point with that.
Okay. All right. We'll address that later. All right, guys, we're going to move on to topic number 2. The New England Patriots, of course, they pounced on the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday, so we're going to shift to them. And after a great performance from Mac Jones and the Patriots, looking as good as they've looked since the old Tom Brady was in town. And so now we're going to talk, are the Patriots back? Are they ready to go back to the championship form that they love so much? Sean, get us going.
It's always very dangerous when you say, are a team back? Or is this team back? Is this team this team that? And I think if you're the New England Patriots, especially Bill Belichick, he wants nobody to say the Patriots are back. I think they've been very quiet and not very talked about a whole heck of a lot this year, which I'm assuming Mr. Bill Belichick absolutely loves that. I don't go so far to say the Patriots are back. The Patriots are very, very dangerous. I think they definitely got the best rookie quarterback out of the draft so far. I think Mac Jones definitely got the best situation with he landed on the best team out of the team that drafted rookie quarterbacks. Obviously, you know, the Jets, the Mike White experience, unfortunately has come to a close, but Zach Wilson's been hurt and hasn't played fantastic. Trevor Lawrence, he'll figure it out. He's definitely the most talented, and he'll figure out the Jaguars. But anyway, back to Mac Jones. He has played absolutely fantastic so far. Last game, you know, the Browns dominated the first possession. But then after that, Mac Jones and the Patriots just absolutely took over. Matthew Judon and J.C. Jackson have been playing fantastic defensively for the New England Patriots. So the Patriots, they're trending in the right direction. Mac Jones not turning the football over, making the throws he's need, getting more and more confident every single week. This is definitely a team that can make a very, very deep playoff run. I'm not going to say Super Bowl yet, but if I'm a Patriots fan, you know, they're trending that way to be back.
Hold on, Sean. Pump the brakes a little bit here. When you look at the Patriots season, who have they beaten? Who has Mac Jones beaten? The Jets? Okay, the Browns. We're still not really sure what kind of team they are. Another landmark win against the Chargers. And then who else have they beaten? The Jets twice. The Texans with David Mills. And a couple of very pedestrian wins. So I really don't think Mac Jones has done that much yet. He hasn't done, it's not like he has taken control of the team. He hasn't done what Aaron Rodgers has been able to do in his past. These wins aren't a product of him. They're a product of a very complete team, a team that's got a good running game and a good offensive line and a good defense and a good secondary. And so it's more so the Patriots than it is Mac Jones, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, the question is, are the Patriots back? I'm not saying Mac Jones back, but also, though, to your point, though, like, sure, he's having these pedestrian wins where he's beating teams like the Jets and he's beating teams like the Browns or whatever. But also looking within division with a team like the Bills, you need to beat the Jets twice to make your way to the playoffs. You need to beat the Dolphins, at least split with the Dolphins, and you need to split with the Bills. So it's important for Mac Jones to already start get that momentum and the Patriots as a whole to win the games he's supposed to win. I don't understand why we need to raise the bar, move the goalposts for have these statement wins all of a sudden. If you need to beat the teams you need to beat, that's what you need to do.
Hold on though. The point is that they haven't proven that they're back. When you don't have the good wins, you don't really know if they're back. Everybody, so take a look at the Broncos' first 4 games of the season. They were 4-0 and undefeated, and everybody had a lot of hope. But as we have seen now, they're not really a great team. So the Patriots still have a lot of proving to do.
Well, they'll have a lot of chance this season to prove a lot more.
All right, guys, let's move on to topic number 3. We are at the halfway point of the NFL season. So Sean and I are going to channel our psychic abilities a little bit, and we are going to give you our Super Bowl matchups. All right, Sean, who is going to be in the 2022 Super Bowl?
This has definitely been one of the most, at the halfway point of the season, I don't think we've ever seen a wide open NFL that we have right now, looking AFC or NFC. There has been no team that has really made that push. I mean, we think, the Rams are a really good team, and all of a sudden they have 2 really bad losses 2 weeks in a row. And then you look at AFC, you think, well, the Bills are having a not great start, but then they have a really good win where they beat a team 38-0. And then all of a sudden they show up against Jacksonville and they put up 6 points. It's like, are you kidding me? And then you have a team that's like, okay, who's been playing the most consistent throughout the year? Probably the Packers. And then you have an injury issue with Aaron Jones, who may be out for the foreseeable future with an ankle injury. Aaron Rodgers has been doing okay, but not great. So this point is really just taking a shot in the dark and stabbing wildly and hoping it sticks. That being said, I'm going to take, out of the NFC, I'm probably going to take, with roulette, always bet on black, right? So what do? You always bet on Tom Brady. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come out of the NFC. We don't really want it to happen, but it's the safest bet. It's Tom Brady, after all. Will he get 8 Super Bowls? I don't know. Do I want to see him get 8 Super Bowls? Not really. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay to come out of the NFC. AFC-wise, I honestly have no clue. So again, another shot in the dark. I'm going to say probably the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's been playing very well. I love Sean McDermott as a coach. The defense is playing good, not great. They have potential to be a very, very good defense. They have Tremaine Edmonds and a lot of good pieces in the backfield, in the back half of the defense for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen can get it done. If they can run the ball a little bit better, I think the Buffalo Bills can be a really, really hard team to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't totally disagree with your picks. I mean, what a wild NFL season it's been already. We might as well just close our eyes and throw darts at a bunch of NFL teams and pick that way. I mean, wow, a lot of ugly losses for everybody, especially with the Buccaneers dropping one to the football team.
Yeah.
But so I don't think it's going to be the year for the Patriots. It just doesn't have that feel. But what I do think it's going to be the year for is the Tennessee Titans and the Green Bay Packers, I think the Green Bay Packers, wow, have they really turned the tide on what everybody thought their season was going to be, including myself after that first week. I was sounding the alarm. I'll admit that I was wrong. My bad. But they're looking like a very complete team. Aaron Rodgers is playing great. Even without Jair Alexander, they still have a pretty good secondary. They're doing a lot of things well. And then, of course, Tennessee Titans, I'm always very hot on who is hot, and that's the Tennessee Titans right now. They're the first team in NFL history to win 5 consecutive games against teams that were in the playoffs the previous year. So even without Derrick Henry, who knows, maybe Adrian Peterson gets some magic left out of what he used to have. So Titans and Packers for me, Sean.
The one thing I have, the Titans are definitely it's like fool's gold. They're a very, very shiny team. You look at them, you want that looks really good. They have a very good defense, a very good coach in Mike Vrabel, but the lack of Derrick Henry, I think, is eventually going to come back to bite him in the butt. Because like you're talking about earlier, you think Ryan Tannehill's better than Baker Mayfield, apparently. And Ryan Tannehill's like vanilla ice cream. It's nice to have around. You can put a little chocolate sauce on there. You can make a milkshake out of it. Who knows? It's very nice to have around, but do you think it's ever going to be the king of kings? No, I don't think Ryan Tannehill can necessarily win a Super Bowl. Because when push comes to shove, will Ryan Tannehill make those plays you need him to make in clutch times? We don't know. He doesn't
need to. Every time I look at a good team that doesn't have an elite quarterback, I look at the Broncos when last time they won the Super Bowl. Because all you really need is an elite defense and a somewhat managed, efficient, effective offense, and you might be all right.
Defense wins championships, but also Tom Brady wins championships.
That's true. So just hopefully Tom Brady does not make it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm throwing away my pick. All right, guys. Fourth topic of the day. Coming out this Friday is a new movie about about the Williams family, and that is Serena and Venus Williams. And the movie focuses on their father, Roger, who is going to be played by Will Smith. And of course, Serena and Venus have had a very, very illustrious career as sisters in the Pro Tour. And so we asked the question, who are the best sibling athletes of all time? Sean, what do you think?
Well, the easy choice would be, the Williams sisters both have a smattering of majors. Serena Williams, definitely a good case. I don't think there's much debate at all. She's the best female tennis player of all time. You can make a really good case. She's one of the top 10 tennis players of all time. Her dominance in her prime is hard to match. Venus Williams, also a fantastic tennis player. But I'm going to go with the set of brothers that are probably both, one already in Canton, Ohio, one I think definitely a shoo-in down the road, probably not first ballot, and that is the Manning family. Peyton Manning, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Offensive records, well, now that Tom Brady holds all the records, but Manning had them for quite a while too. And first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And Eli Manning, one of the only people to beat Tom Brady, not once but twice in the Super Bowls. I'm going to take the Manning brothers as for who I think are the best. And also look at what they're doing outside of football too. Both their playing careers are done, and they're taking over the Monday Night Telecast. It's been an absolute roaring success. Manning has a very bright future, I think, as a possible owner or GM down the line. And who knows what Eli Manning is just showing us every single year. He has more and more talents that we knew Peyton had. And he's like, hey, anything Peyton can do, I can do as good, if not better.
I hear you, Sean. I hear you. It's hard to refute the sheriff and the Tom Brady slayer. So I like that pick, I do. And of course, it's very difficult for me to go against Serena and Venus. I mean, what unbelievable pair they are. I'm very excited to check out this movie. But now, Sean, I urge you, consider this. The punters, Britton and Dustin Colquitt. I mean, it doesn't get much better than those two punters. I mean, just those punts that they did week in, week out. 50 yards, 55 yards. Sean.
All jokes aside.
Dustin and Britton.
Yeah, all jokes aside, when Britton Colquitt was on the Broncos, he was a fantastic punter. And ever since then, we have really had subpar punting. And the Broncos have had to punt a lot since, the Manning era is overdone. Punter. So, yeah, those have been some dominant legs for the brand in the NFL, that's for sure.
It's definitely a tight race between the Mannings and the Colquitts,
neck and neck.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it does not.
All right, guys, we are going to move on to our fifth and final topic of the day. With Thanksgiving coming up next Thursday, we, of course, have to talk food, as that is one of the most important things in our day-to-day lives. Personally, the most important thing. So we are going to ask the question, what is the best Thanksgiving side dish? Sean, what's your pick?
The options are truly endless with this, You have the hits like stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, all fantastic choices. But if I had to choose one that I want on my plate every single Thanksgiving, it's a very hard toss-up, but I think I got to go mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Who's always there for you when you're down? Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
What can you do to make a little boat, if you will? Put some gravy on there, put some cranberry sauce on there, mashed potatoes. You're making that post the leftovers. Thanksgiving leftovers, absolute staple. You're making a sandwich, right? You got your bread down there. You got your turkey. I need something else. I got the cranberry sauce on there. I need one more element to take it up one more notch. What do? Dollop mashed potatoes right on there. It just completes the whole picture. Mashed potatoes are going to be there for you every day, especially on Thursdays, Thanksgiving.
Sean, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you've just about convinced me to pick mashed potatoes as well, but for the sake of variety, I'm going to pick bread rolls. Bread rolls. Doesn't get much better than that unless you're a mashed potatoes guy, of course. Look, you can just eat them and eat them. And even personally, I don't even feel more full when I eat them. I mean, it's just, there's nothing like them. I can't really follow what you said, so I'm just going to leave it right there at bread rolls.
Are you a Hawaiian sweet roll guy?
I dig it.
I
They're
can't
good.
eat bread, so I don't.
You can't eat bread.
No, I cannot. No, it's
Literally.
yeah, no, I legitimately cannot. So that's why I'm out on the debate of the Hawaiian sweet rolls.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you lost me there.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good.
I'll have to take your word for it. I trust your
Maybe
opinion.
just smell them sometimes.
You get
just
the Thanksgiving aromas, the wafts,
Yeah.
if you will.
yeah,
That's why mashed potatoes are always gonna be there for you.
that's true.
No bread and mashed potatoes.
90% of taste is smell, though. So
There we go.
All right, guys. We're going to move on to our last segment of the day. It is time for our weekly shout-outs. Sean, who are you shouting out?
Well, sticking on the theme of carbs here, I'm going to give a little shout-out. On Monday Night Football, Kelly Stafford apparently was having an altercation with an unruly, quote, unruly 49er fan. So what do you do if there's an unruly 49er fan? You chuck a pretzel right at them.
It's the only thing you
That's
can
what
do.
she did. She came out, obviously, has apologized for letting her emotions get the best of her and throwing I believe it was a soft pretzel, not a hard pretzel, a soft pretzel. Who knows cinnamon? I don't know if cinnamon sugar, maybe the cheese dip one.
I was going to ask.
I don't know.
What flavor?
You like to think cinnamon sugar because I think those are probably better.
You wouldn't waste the cinnamon sugar, though.
That's a good point. So it probably was the cheese salt soft pretzel.
Yeah.
So sorry to the 49er fan that got hit by the soft pretzel, but that was pretty funny.
And I'm going to be shouting out, or really shouting down, the name changing of the legendary Staples Center. That's right. After many, many years of championship success and history, they are changing the name of the Staples Center in LA to Crypto.com Arena. I mean, a lot of people are upset about this, Sean, and after 6 NBA championships with the Lakers, 3 championships with the LA Sparks, and 2 Stanley Cups with the Kings, I mean, I don't understand how they can change it. Paul George said, you're stripping away history by doing this. What do you think, Sean?
I mean, absolutely, yeah. Especially Staples, that was easy. How good of that is to say if you win a championship in the Staples Center, you can just say that was easy, like the Staples button. And also,
great point.
Yeah. Also, I think they really missed an opportunity to name it, Kobe Bryant Stadium or something like that too. That's one of the they say Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, the house that Peyton built. Why not Staples Center be the house that Kobe Bryant built?
Yeah, Kobe Arena. That sounds pretty good.
And also, why crypto? I understand, it's kind of cliche and they're just jumping on the bandwagon, but we were talking about this before air. Not many of us know what even crypto. Crypto just seems like Pokemon for finance people.
I think you should at least call it Crypto Arena. Why you got to put the .com in it? That just does not sound good. Does that pay homage to one of the greatest NBA franchises of all time? I don't think so.
It does not .com.
Great point. Great point. Also, see, going back to the Staples Center, I never really thought about it. But it's odd, I feel, that Staples, like a home office supplier, got to name the Lakers Arena.
You wouldn't think they'd have enough money for that.
Who's paying for this?
I don't know.
Who owns Staples?
And also, I want to give a little bit of if you can call it call out again to the Pepsi Center, now the Ball Arena. I understand that Ball owns Pepsi and the cans that manufacture the aluminum company, but the Pepsi Center, you could call it the can. And now as the Ball Arena, you're going to call it the can manufacturer? No, it's not. And it's just the Pepsi Center just roll off the tongue.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So much nicer, right? And I think, they changed the name. All of a sudden, the Avs can't stay healthy. They're not playing very well. So I'm blaming Ball for that.
Yeah.
It's the only logical choice.
Ball Aerospace is solely at fault for all the Avalanche and Nuggets sorrows over the past several years. We should have won at least 3 major championships by now, in my opinion.
The chance is still there. I have not lost hope on the Avs yet.
It's just, same start.
They need some mashed potatoes.
I need some mashed potatoes, yeah.
They need some
Some mashed potatoes and some rolls to make us feel better.
Absolutely.
Colorado sports. All right.
Colorado sports.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us today on this episode of Crossing the Line. Thank you for joining us. Remember, keep crossing those lines. We're taking next week off. We'll see you in 2.
Eat some mashed potatoes.
Thanks for joining.